2.
Hey there, thanks for joining us for another edition of the Creed Catch-Up. We're back at headquarters on Saturday night, 10 races, 5:43, and again there's a lot to look forward to. We've got a couple of these good money races coming through, just over $20,000 up for grabs, so races 4 and 8, and as you would expect with that increased prize money, very competitive fields have been drawn. Race number 4, that's a ripper. Plenty of talent on display there. And race number 8, a little bit different, but I like this. It's for Q-bred pacers only, and they're chasing that good prize money. So there are a couple of the highlights coming through, but at the back end of the program, we've got the open free-for-all for the pacers. That's race 9, 2,138 metres. Speeches Silver. He's chasing 3 on the bounce, but he's got to overcome a wide draw. And LL Cool J, he comes up with the inside gate. And the final race, that's a trotting free-for-all, mobile start conditions, and that promises to be a very entertaining race as well. Sir Fahrenheit, he's going for back-to-back victories, taking on the likes of Doug, Garland Green, and others. So there's a lot to look forward to coming through at Albion Park this Saturday night. The first of 10 at 5:43. We have got plenty of news in this week's edition of the Creed Catch-Up. Firstly, on the racing front, one series that I'm really looking forward to this year for 2022 is the upcoming Jim McNeil Memorial Trotting Championship Series. There is a stack of new trotting talent in Queensland, and a lot of this has been obvious at the trials over the past couple of weeks. Only last week, Riley Moment was able to beat the former Kiwi, that's Regal Appointment. And then this week, we saw Mike Morrow step out for Jack Butler. He's part of the Summit Bloodstock ownership group, Mike Morrow. He's a former Kiwi, and he looked really good as well. He led throughout beating Majestic Harry. And like I said, there is a stack of new talent around. And only this week, joining the stables of Narissa McMullen, Joe and Mary Rando, who have got Timothy Red, the horse that performed really well during the recent Inter Dominion series, they've sent forward 2 horses for Narissa McMullen, both being aimed at the upcoming Jim McNeil Memorial Trotting Championship Series. And they are Duball and Sobomba. So there's a couple of more new trotters to the Queensland scene, and like I said, there's a lot of stables with trotting talent right now. Grant Dixon's got a stack of new ones. Jack Butler's got new ones. As we know, Tim Butt, he's in town. He's got a host of new trotting talent, and maybe we might see Tim Butt step out with his first trial next week. Time will tell, but they're settling into their new surroundings quite nicely. And speaking of Tim Butt, his son Riley, who's a junior driver, he's got his first concession claim drive on Saturday night at Albion Park. So we wish Riley all the very best. He's picked up the drive for trainer Tim Gillespie on the last start winner, who scored earlier this week. In fact, Major Do It. He won race number 8, the last race there on Tuesday. He goes around in race 2. Riley Butt takes the drive. So plenty of good talent stepping out both on and off the track. Just on the trials, not only with the trotting talent, but a couple of other interesting horses that have stepped out over the past week here locally. Tim's a trooper, the Group 1 Breeders' Challenge winner from Sydney last year. He trialled last week, won his trial. He's set to trial again on Friday. And then earlier this week on Tuesday, a former Kiwi by the name of Saginaw, who's now part of the Jack Butler, Brendan Barnes operation. He looked really sharp. He was able to score in his trial. He beat Secret Agent Tycoon, I Am Sparta, and Leap to Fame. Leap to Fame back in action, and he was a nice quiet trial running in 4th. But there's a lot of good talent running around in the trials right now. Speaking of Leap to Fame, Grant Dixon, his trainer driver, disappointing news coming through. Governor Jujon has succumbed to injury, and it looks like he's going to be off the scene for quite some time. It's very unlikely that we will see him during the upcoming TAB Constellations. Rather serious, the injury there for Governor Jujon. Sweet Gemma, she's run her final race in Queensland. She raced last week. She was a winner 2 starts ago. It looks like Alabar New Zealand have come to the party, and they've secured a good part of this mare, Sweet Gemma. She's very well bred, so she's now headed back to New Zealand, and she is going to be bred from in the next season, Sweet Gemma. Manila Playboy, an update on this guy. We were expecting to see him go to Sydney for a shot at qualifying for the Chariots of Fire. He trialled last week. That was against Tim's a Trooper. Trialled really well. Just a little bit scratchy after the trial, so it looks like he's going to have a bit of a freshen up now, Manila Playboy, and he's going to be set for some of those big TAB Constellations Carnival features coming up in June and July. And Uncle Shank, who failed last week in the Hondo Grattan, he's returned to Brisbane. He's back with trainers Chantel Turpin and Pete McMullen, and he's likely to have a little bit of a freshen up as well before getting set for those features coming up during the winter there. So that's an update on some of those horses. I mentioned Riley Butt also. He's taking his first drive. Just a couple of updates on a few of our trainers. Mark Reese, good to see Mark back in action this Saturday night with his little mare, Molly's Marielle. He took a bad fall recently, so it's good to see Mark up and about. And Darren Ebbett also took a fall recently. He ended up with a broken collarbone, so we wish Mark and Darren all the best in their recovery from those injuries after some pretty nasty spills in track work. It's very dangerous, there's no doubt about it, but it's good to see those guys are up and about. I mentioned Arissa McMullen earlier. What about her horse on Tuesday? Slip the Hundy. 152.6 this guy clocked. He's only a 4-year-old. The obvious target for him is going to be the new race, the Queensland Sun, and winner of that race is exempt from ballot for the Rising Sun. So that's the big target now for Slip the Hundy, but he was awesome winning there on Tuesday in super fast time. Each way you break it down, first half, middle half, last half, he was super all round Slip the Hundy, so he's really, really impressive. And don't forget, we've got a big night coming up. It coincides with St. Patrick's Day. I think we're the week before St. Patrick's Day itself, but there is going to be a big, big night at Albion Park. It coincides also with Embrace and Pacing. And if you want further details, tickets are available from the club. $55 per person. A lot of fun, a lot of activities planned for the night. So make sure you check that out. Coming through, I think on March 12 for memory, but give the club a call. Check out the website. All the details are there. That is the Creek Catch-Up for this week. We'll join you trackside from Albion Park, the first of 10 at 5:43.